I'm Robert Timmons.
And I'm Shalayla Simmons.
And you're watching Weekly Words.
Did I do that right?
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I hope that these last weeks have been great for you. I'm so excited because we have our special guest, Shalayla, here today.
And I'm excited to be here too.
So let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot to discuss. So last year I saw this Bitmoji cartoon, and it was the Bitmoji. He was trying to open up a locker, and he's going through the combination. It's not opening, and he's like trying really hard. And then he looks at the number again, realizes he's at the wrong locker. He goes over to the right locker, puts the combination in there, and then it opens up easily. And he's just like, oops, my bad. And I thought that was just so powerful because I think so many times in our lives, we're trying to open up things that's not even for us. We're trying to force it open, trying to walk through whatever door, walk through whatever opportunity, and God did not align that for us. But the moment we get into alignment with what God has for us, it opens up. Right? So today I want to kind of talk through the idea of staying in your lane and opening what's for you and not trying to force something that's not for you. And I don't say that to say that whatever's for you is just going to open up easily and fall into your lap. Like, it's still going to take effort and diligence and work. Like, you still have to study for the test, you still have to prepare for the game or for the track meet or whatever. But there's going to be this alignment that comes with it, where even in the struggle and even in the challenge, you're still able to progress forward to what is for you.
Like, if there's 100% of something that needs to be done and God is only requiring you to do 5% of it, it's still the 5% that you got to get done. He will cover everything else. Like, that 95% is more than what you could even begin to handle. And you don't have to, but that 5% is your responsibility. And he's calling you to do that. You've got to do your part either way. So, yeah.
Yep, do your part so God can do his. And this concept also made me think about Joyce Meyer. So a couple weeks ago when she came to my church, she was speaking about how everything has its season and God has this kind of alignment for you at different stages in your life. And she was speaking to how when she was younger, she was doing like 3 conferences a week and traveling to all these different cities and all these different states. And when she looks back on that season of her life, she can't really put into words how she did it, but she knows that it was God aligned. If she tried to do that now, she said that she wouldn't have the capacity to handle all that because she's in a different season. Now she does like 1 conference every 3 months, right? It's shifted to be something different for now.
And so, like, on the other side of that, where she couldn't handle, all of those, that hustling right now in this season of her life, in that previous season, if she tried to just do, 1 conference every 3 months when she was trying to get her name out there, trying to get known, really being effective in the gospel, that wouldn't have worked either. So it's just a matter of knowing what season you're in. Is it your hustle season, or is it your season to, be a little more contemplative and, take more time with things? So you just have to kind of acknowledge what season you're in, and then learn to be content in that season. Acknowledge and then accept it. And we're talking about contentment versus complacency, because when you're complacent, you're fine, you don't need to move any further. Whereas content, even if you have a desire to go forward, or there's more for you, or you're reaching towards more goals, you're still content knowing that this is where I'm supposed to be as I head in that direction, right?
Yeah. So tell them about your changing job.
Okay. So I was talking to Robert a little earlier about my season right now. I would think that after being in teaching for about 12 years, this could kind of start getting into my nice little, ladybug season routine, everything like that. But I switched jobs, and my last job was a 1 prep period. It was 1 prep for my classes, and I only had to teach 1 grade, 1 subject, 1 preparation. It was beautiful. When I was offered this job, I was told that I would be teaching 4 classes. And so that meant I had to do 4 lesson plans, 4 of everything, and getting ready for that. And that, at the very offset of hearing that, it was enough to scare me away. But there was something about this job, the people that I was interviewing with, they just said, take it, even knowing that it was going to be a lot more work. Is they said, take it. And so I took it. And it turns out that it is a lot more work, and it is my hustle season. It's not my laid back season. And I acknowledge that, I recognize that. And while it's a lot of work, it's not a stressful thing. It's not something where I feel like I'm not at ease, or I feel I'm lacking peace in any way, because this was my locker. When I opened the key, when I came to this locker, that last place wasn't my locker. I was bumping my head a lot, even though I only had one prep. There were still a lot of other outside factors that was making it someplace that wasn't for me. When I got here, there was a lot going on that I would have never expected, but it was where I needed to be. It was the key fit, and I fit, and it's been an amazing experience thus far. And it's my hustle season, so I'm ready to hustle, and we'll see what God has for me as I continue.
Yeah. So with all that being said, from the example with the cartoon to the example with Joyce Meyer and the real life example with you, I think the takeaways is being content, accepting where you are, and having peace, right? So being content on where you currently are in life, even though it's not where you're destined to be, accepting the season that you're in and what that looks like, whether you're grinding or whether you're moving at a slower pace, and then also having peace, right? Because throughout life, there's going to be lots of times in our journey where we're going to be progressing and working through things, but we have to have peace, because you don't want to ever force anything. Everything should be aligned by God, His timing for you, and what's meant for you to walk through. And that makes me think about something that Stephen Furtick said on one of his sermons, that in order to have peace, we have to surrender our expectation of perfection, right? And lots of times, because we're chasing after perfection, that's when we start trying to force things. But if we surrender that idea and we actually walk in peace, we can be content in where we are, and we can be content in the proper goals that we set for ourselves in order to achieve what God has set for us to achieve.
And a lot of times when we're looking at perfection, is because we've seen it someplace else, someone else. We've looked to the left, we've looked to the right, and now we're trying to chase what we believe is perfection. Whereas if we, like you said earlier, go to our locker, stay in our lane, therein will lie our peace, because we'll have our blinders on, and we won't be looking at everybody else and what the ideal and what the perfection is. And that peace will come to us because we are where we're supposed to be. We're staying in our lane. We're opening our locker, and what's in there is mine. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. It's mine, and I can be at peace because I know what I'm supposed to do with this. And if I don't know, God will reveal it, and I will do exactly what I'm supposed to do with contents that are in the locker that I was able to open with my key.
Yeah. So find your combination, find your locker, open it up, and walk into what God has for you. Thank you for checking out this week's episode of Weekly Words. I pray that you thoroughly enjoyed it and got something positive from it.
And if you have any suggestions on other topics that you'd like for us to discuss, please feel free to email Robert at weeklywordsrt@gmail.com.
Again, that's weeklywordsrt@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. Our next episode will be on March 20th, and I hope to see you there.
I hope to see you. You won't see me there, but we'll see you there.
All right. Have a great week.